Hi everyone, this is Mig from Sneaks and Ball PH, and today we have a detailed review on the Air Jordan 1 High University Blue. To start things off, I would like to give a big shout out to Anton of Fits and Kicks PH because this pair of University Blues actually belongs to him, and he was kind enough to send these over for review, and he is also my size, so at least I could do the on foot. And so here we have the Air Jordan 1 High in the University Blue colorway. University Blue Jordans have historically done pretty well because they are pretty similar to the UNC PEs that the college athletes get from Jordan brand. Of course, you have those pretty hyped Jordan 4s that are releasing I think next month. You have those UNC Jordan 3s that released last year, and I think, well, yeah, they're the ones over here. And I really like this pair, and it was super hard to get last year as well. So with this Jordan 1 High, it was pretty much the same because there were a lot of people who liked the shoe and were trying to get them, but unfortunately, I wasn't one of them. This is a really good Jordan 1 colorway, however, it wasn't really on my radar because I do feel like I would have liked it a lot more had they used the black toe Air Jordan 1 color blocking, and I do feel like there is a little bit too much University Blue on the upper. But of course, that is only my take of the shoe, and a lot of people have been loving this colorway. And these have also been reselling at a crazy price. It was around 18,000 to 20,000 pesos at one point, and that's around $400 for a pair of Air Jordan 1s that weren't really that limited. So I do think the demand on these was pretty high, or at least it seems like it, because you never really know what the actual demand is nowadays with all of the resellers. But nonetheless, this was a very popular shoe. So for the tech specs on the Jordan 1, you do have that signature Jordan 1 traction pattern, which is definitely one of the greatest tractions of all time. One of the reasons why I ended up breaking one of my Jordan 1s like a couple of years ago was because I actually played an entire league wearing those, and the major reason that I loved playing in those was because of the traction. It just really sticks to the court like crazy, and it really doesn't matter whether you're walking outside or you're walking inside, and it can be a little bit slick with some wood, with some tiles, or with some smooth concrete. These will stick on those really well. It also is pretty durable because all of the rubber is nice and thick, and the only part of the traction that will wear out pretty quickly are those stars at the toe. So once again, you really can't go wrong with the traction on any pair of Jordan 1s. It's gonna stick to everything, and it's gonna last you a pretty long time as well. Then for the cushion, you pretty much don't have any because you have a full-length rubber cup sole and an EVA wedge with encapsulated air in the heel. You really can't feel much of the air in the Air Jordan 1, and essentially you feel really low to the ground. Definitely is pretty far from the most comfortable shoe ever, but since everyone is just kind of using these for walking around casually and going to the office, going to school, going out to the mall, having lunch or having dinner, it doesn't really bother people how low to the ground it is and how little cushion it actually does have. But if you were gonna try to play basketball in these, or if you walk around and you still feel like you need a little bit more cushion, you can always get a third-party insole, which is definitely what I did when I played with my Jordan 1s in a league. I got this really thick third-party insole with like crash pads on the heel and forefoot, and that ended up working pretty well. But if you don't want to go through all of that effort to get an insole from a separate store and put them in your shoes, you can always go with the Jordan 1 Zoom Comfort, which has zoom and injected Phylon. Then for the materials, it is quite surprising now that I have the shoe in hand just how soft all of the materials are. So first off, you do have a super short-haired suede where all of the University Blue is, and the suede is super short that it almost feels like a nubuck, but it does still do that suede thing where it gets lighter or darker depending on where you brush it, and it just feels super premium and soft as well. You also have heavily tumbled leather here on the midfoot and the toe, and these do start out a little bit stiffer than the suede parts, but it does break in super quick, and now that they've been worn a little bit, it's just really soft, especially here on the toe, and it feels really good on foot. Then here on the ankle collar, you do have this black leather, and surprisingly, I think it's the best feeling material of all of them. It's just super soft, and it has a nice tumble to it as well, and it just looks and feels premium all around. It's kind of like if you had a very expensive sofa. That's pretty much how this ankle collar feels like. Then for the other materials, you have a nice and smooth sock liner with good padding and sculpting here at the ankle. Then lastly, you do have your standard laces as well as your classic nylon tongue. The materials are just overall really premium, and if you're one of those people that really give importance on the quality of materials on their Jordans, then this will definitely be one of the shoes for you. Then for fit and sizing, my friend Anton is pretty much the same size as me, and it fits perfectly well. So my recommendation for the sizing is that if you have a narrow foot or a normal width foot, definitely go true to size, and then if you have a wide foot, you can go true to size since the leather is very soft, but you can also go up half a size if you want a looser fit. Then for the aesthetic details on the shoe, you do have a University University Blue outsole, and some Nike branding here at the midfoot. Then moving on to the midsole, you have a white rubber cupsole with white stitching as well. Oh, and before I go on, one of the benefits of having that stitching on the rubber cupsole is that shoes that do that, such as the Jordan 1 or the Nike Dunk, last a lot longer with shoes with a traditional midsole. But anyway, going back to the aesthetic details, here on the upper you do have a mix of University Blue, white, and black. You have University Blue on all of the overlays, white on the toe and the midfoot, and black here on the Nike swoosh, the ankle collar, the sock liner, and the Wings logo. The Wings logo is my personal favorite detail of all of the Jordan 1s, and it's just really such a classic logo in my opinion. Then for the other bits of branding, of course you have your Nike swooshes on the lateral and medial side, Nike Air on the insole, and Nike Air on the tongue tab as well. Then lastly, as you can see, the black laces are on this pair, but in the box you also have an extra pair of University Blue laces, so you can definitely add some more University Blue if that's what you want. However, I do prefer these black laces just to give it a little bit more balance, but of course that is only my personal preference. Then for the overall aesthetics, in the end it is still an Air Jordan 1 with a pretty clean and simple colorway and color blocking, which makes it look really nice. But like I said earlier, I would have much rather had it have that black toe color treatment, where you would still have that University Blue here on the forefoot as well as the eye stays, but this heel piece would be in black. I feel like that would have looked a lot cleaner, but you know, that is just my opinion, and a lot of people have been liking the shoe for how it is, and I can definitely see why now that I have them in hand, because the University Blue does look nicer in person than how I initially saw them on pictures online. My only other issue with the overall aesthetics of the shoe is that that white leather is just heavily tumbled, and I just wish it was either a smooth leather or a tumbled leather that wasn't as tumbled as this. I'm not sure if all of the pairs are as heavily tumbled as this one, so if you do have a pair of these, just comment down below if they are as tumbled as these, and if you like that extremely tumbled look. So essentially those were just my two cons, that tumbled leather as well as just how much University Blue they used on the shoe. But aside from that, it is a really great looking shoe with really nice materials, so you really can't go wrong if you were able to cop these. Then for the price, the Air Jordan 1 University Blue retails for 8,095 pesos here in the Philippines, or $170 US. It is pretty much at the standard price of Air Jordan 1 highs. However, as we all know, there's a lot of hype behind the shoe, and resellers were quick to pounce. The resale price on these, as I mentioned earlier, is pretty crazy. These are going for like 20,000 pesos or $400 US, which is more than double the retail price, and that's pretty insane. And in my opinion, no matter how nice you think the shoe looks, it is definitely a good looking shoe. However, they do make more and more Jordan 1 highs all the time, so if you missed out on getting these for retail, it definitely isn't the end of the world, and who knows, this might come back in the near future as a restock, or if they retro it one more time. So there you have it guys, that's my detailed review on the Air Jordan 1 High University Blue. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below, and if you have any comments, questions, or any suggestions for future videos, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below as well. Then also make sure to join the SNBPH Sneaker Hunters Facebook group, which I will link down below, because we do talk a lot about sneakers and basketball and everything under the sun, and that's also where I course my monthly giveaways. Then if you haven't already yet, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon for notifications. It would help us out a lot here at Sneaks and Ball PH.